Hello and welcome to the official Haters Euro 2024 Daily Show. I'm your host, Aaron Goldstein, and today I'm not just joined by Freddie Walker, but by England international rugby player Nick Asikwe. A reminder, we are live every day at 1 o'clock, bringing you interviews, training clips, and reports from our team on the ground in Germany. Let's go straight in with yesterday. It was a great day of football, but our man Rodrigo Lara was out in Leipzig as Portugal beat oh my God, Portugal got their journey underway against the Czech Republic. He spoke to all of the fans about Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ronaldo is the best. He's the best of all time. GOAT, complete. He's the GOAT.
Cristiano Ronaldo is our national hero. He deserves this and so more.
It's a tribute.
It's a tribute for Ronaldo.
San Ronaldo. Why San Ronaldo?
Why San Ronaldo? Because San Ronaldo since 20 years is taking our name to everywhere.
Is he the most handsome football player in the world as well?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I mean, Portuguese are very handsome as well. So, you know, we have a lot of very handsome players.
51 goals, 50 games. Best player ever. Better than ever. He's going to score, be the best football scorer in this Euro Cup. He's going to smash this Euro Cup.
You have any song for Cristiano Ronaldo?
Muchas gracias, afición. Esto para vosotros.
What means for you Cristiano Ronaldo?
He's the best player of the world.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Dedication, hard work. He's really funny every time in interview. He's really beautiful.
Rodrigo knows where to find the best action. Nick, as an athlete, is Ronaldo like an inspiration for everybody?
The guy is one of the greatest of all time. He's sorry, hello everybody. By the way, no, the guy is one of the greatest of all time. I think obviously he's handsome as well, as we saw in the clip.
Does help,
but no, he's his longevity, one of the greatest of all times. Like the way that he's kept it going for all this time is incredible. And I think if you're an athlete and you don't see him as one of the greatest, you're an idiot, because it's no, but the guy is incredible.
He's 39 years old and he's still playing at the top level.
I know. But the way that he looks after himself and the way that he gets himself in shape is, it's immaculate. It's an example, really.
Freddie, what do you think yesterday? Did Portugal get lucky?
I think so, a little bit. They created a lot of chances, but they weren't clinical with them. The man that we were just talking about, Ronaldo, missed a few. And then obviously the Czech Republic, pretty much the first shot that I can remember them having on target. Another screamer, just a shot from outside the box, and it goes in. And then Portugal had an uphill battle that they got done in the end, but maybe with a little bit of luck from the keeper kind of spilling it to the Portugal player.
24 years after his father's hat-trick against Germany, Francisco Conceição was the man who took the limelight away from Sui R7. Are Portugal one of your favourites for the tournament, Nick?
I think they're up there. There's so many powerful teams. The thing with me with Portugal is, do they have enough? Obviously they got there in the end. But the teams like France, obviously they haven't been mentioned a lot in the media, but Netherlands, I think, will be there or thereabouts. So it's interesting.
There's going to be a lot of teams. There's actually a lot of favourites right now. Obviously Germany, Spain as well, Italy, the current reigning champs. So it's going to be a good Euros. I don't really know how to call it, to be honest.
It's been so good so far. In the group, Turkey beat Georgia earlier in the day, which is just one of the most entertaining games you're likely to see all year. And this is why you love international football tournaments. It's the kind of game where, you'd never watch it if it wasn't at Euro 2020. Yeah. And then you watch it and you contemplate, why on earth would I even debate missing that? It was unbelievable. Jerry Cox was out in Dortmund.
Hi Aaron, yes, it's Jerry Cox here, reporting for HaytersTV. I'm in Dortmund on Tuesday night, just after watching the game of the tournament, the goal of the tournament, probably the save of the tournament as well. Absolutely fantastic game here. The scoreline in the end was Turkey 3, Georgia 1, but it doesn't tell the true story. The third goal from Turkey, the killer goal, came in the last minute of 7 minutes of stoppage time. Up until then, there'd been chances to equalise, there'd been chances at both ends, there'd been some amazing football, some amazing goals. It was 100 miles an hour. The crowd were up for it. Best atmosphere I've been in for a long, long time. And I see a lot of football. So a game never to forget. And in the middle of it was this 19-year-old kid, plays for Real Madrid, Arda Güler. What a player, and what a goal. He scored in the 65th minute, he curled one in, 25, 30 yards, who knows. Absolute peach of a goal. Shows why Real Madrid signed him from Fenerbahce last year. He's not got a lot of game time so far, and it'll be harder when Kylian Mbappe arrives, obviously. But boy, this kid has got talent. And just like we've seen throughout the tournament, you know, some of these young players are the ones that are shining most. Jamal Musiala, we saw it with Yamin Lamal for Spain. Jude Bellingham for England, the youngest player, the best player on the park the other day. So these kids are doing all right. And the one we saw today, Güler's goal, was absolutely sensational. The one thing I'll take away from this game tonight is that Turkey have got an incredibly passionate support over here in Germany. They've got a decent team, they've got a real star up front, and they've got a chance of going a long way in this tournament.
Really hyped up at Euro 2020 and failed to really live up to it. The man that they were missing at that tournament is, of course, Arda Güler, because he was a child at the last one. SofaScore have helped us with his graphics and his stats from their game. A reminder, you should be downloading SofaScore if you're a football fan, because it's the best app around for stats around the world on just all general football. 79 minutes played for Güler yesterday. 1 goal. I'm actually going to change that. It's not a goal. It was a screamer. 38 accurate passes out of 41 attempts, 5 of those being key passes, 2 big chances created, 3 tackles, and a SofaScore rating of 8.1. He was everywhere. He was phenomenal. Why has he slept on as one of the next big things? Is it actually a bad career move to go to Real Madrid where minutes are going to be limited, Freddie?
Yeah, I think somewhat. I think we've seen with Martin Odegaard, obviously going to Real Madrid at the age of 16, 17, he didn't break through and didn't get the minutes that he needed to excel. And then obviously he goes to Arsenal, he feels the love, he gets the minutes, and he's turned into one of the best players in the Premier League. So potentially it could be a pull move, but if he's good enough, then he'll start making the starting 11 for Real Madrid, and I'm sure he'll be winning lots of trophies with them.
Nick?
No, to be fair, I have to disagree with it. I think going to a place like that with all the talent and all the great players and the great establishment that it is, I think that he'll only learn and he'll only grow. And then to get that kind of elite mindset, you don't necessarily get that everywhere. I think you can see at Arsenal has grown over the last however long. And I think Odegaard was a beneficiary of being in a situation at Real Madrid for so long. So I think that from that aspect, I think he'll grow that elite mindset at Real Madrid. And then if it doesn't work out, we saw his SofaScore, right? That was 8.1. If he keeps doing that, he'll get into the team and then he'll be there. But I think that's a big point.
Güler did score a great goal, but so did his teammate Mulder. He was in the mix zone with Jerry Cox at full time.
And also Arda Güler, is that the goal of the tournament?
First of all, thank you very much. I think we scored both very nice goals. But the most important thing are the 3 points, and we are really happy that we have the 3 points. And I think so far there was no better goal than ours, so we are also happy for that. We said the first game is the most important for us. We won, we deserve to win, but from tomorrow on we will be focused fully off Portugal.
All right, a Güler screamer from outside the box, curled into the top bins, or Mulder's goal. That technique on the half volley, it might have been full volley. I can't remember off the top of my head. Which was the better goal out of the two?
Me and Nick might disagree here, but I'm going to go for the Mulder one. Just the volley. It kind of reminds me of that Zidane Champions League final goal. Just ridiculous technique, ridiculous power. Just to pull that off is very difficult. But obviously, Güler's is incredible. Well, so,
No, I'm going to have to go with the wrap top bins. Yeah. That is insane. The tech on that. Obviously, the volley is incredible. I don't get me wrong, but to wrap it top bins like that in the Euros. Incredible.
Is that your goal of the tournament so far?
so far.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, maybe Jude Bellingham. Better. That's when it goes to England fans.
Some England bias there, yeah.
Well, how impressive were Georgia? I thought they were going to nick an equaliser at one point, and surely they're going to be everybody's soft spot team because nobody expected them to be there in the first place. Do you give them any chance of making out the group?
Yeah, they were really impressive. I don't really see them getting out of the group after losing that one to Turkey. They really put up a fight, and maybe they were a little bit unlucky that they didn't get something out of that game. But yeah, no, I don't think they can get out of the group now.
Let's take a look at Group F. SofaScore have helped us get the stats up on the screen for us. As expected, Turkey and Portugal start their campaigns with a win. Turkey topped the group, Portugal second, Czech Republic third, and Georgia in fourth. A reminder that third place teams can go through, as Portugal did in 2016. They actually won it from coming third. So Czech Republic and Georgia, do not write them off just yet. So much football left to be played. A reminder to download SofaScore and join 25 million other people with one of the best football apps around. Another comment. If you have any comments for us, please do get them in and we will respond to them very soon. After match day 1, I think it's fair to say we've only really had one shock so far in the Slovakia beating Belgium.
Yeah.
But my goodness, we've been treated to some ridiculous goals. On to today. The early kickoff sees Croatia take on Albania, two teams that are searching for their first point of the tournament. The team news is in, and it's less than an hour until we're underway. Fulham fans, this is the stadium where you lost the Europa League final in 2010. So if you are someone that suffers from flashbacks, don't watch this one. What do you think, Freddie? Anyone to look forward to in this early game? You're expecting Croatia to just wipe the floor with Albania?
I expect a Croatia comeback after their very poor performance against Spain. But Albania, obviously, played against Italy and only lost 2-1, put up a good fight. Bayrami, who scored that goal after 23 seconds, he's been involved in a goal in his last 3 international games for Albania, so he's definitely one to keep an eye on, and I expect it to be a close game. I believe it's the first ever time these teams have met, so yeah, it's going to be a Balkan clash, and I'm sure it'll be a good game.
Nick, Luka Modric. Do I need to ask a question or do I just say his name? What do you think?
No, excellent. Absolutely excellent. I think, you know, his career with Real Madrid has been like unbelievable. To get to where he's got to with Croatia is like insane. And then speaking on him, I think on Croatia, I think they'll come out firing today. I think they'll be obviously disappointed. And I think I can't see them slipping up today, but Luka Modric, outstanding.
Well, Croatia haven't lost successive games at the same tournament this century. The last time they did was 1996. With that in mind, score prediction today.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Croatia. Close game, but they just nick it.
I'm thinking more along the lines like 4-1. I think they're going to come out firing. I think they've got something to prove as well. So
yeah, they have to. I mean, they got battered in the opening game. Croatia. They need to come out all guns blazing. At 5:00, hosts Germany take on a Hungary side who will be very disappointed with how they opened the tournament. Haters heard from German manager Julian Nagelsmann, who discussed the mix of experience within the German camp.
In your team between experienced players and young talented players. I think it's important that the young players, the young talented players, are open-minded, listen to the older players with big experience to improve.
Boypus Cookie, hello. I see the comments coming through very slowly. Nick, the Germans have a great squad.
Yeah.
Who are you looking forward to in particular?
I like Kai Havertz. I'm a Chelsea fan, and I know that might sound a bit interesting, but I just like the way he goes about his business. The back end of the season for Arsenal, he was obviously on fire, and I think he's kind of continuing that form, which is good to see.
I mean, Freddie, I've asked Nick who his favourite is. I'm not giving you the opportunity here because I'm giving it for you. Jamal Musiala. He was ridiculous against Scotland. A goal and an assist. SofaScore have given us his stats. In 74 minutes, he scored a goal. 32 out of 32 accurate passes. 5 out of 8 successful dribbles. 2 tackles. 9 out of 15 duels won. Bearing in mind he's playing quite high up the pitch. And a 7.9 rating. He is ridiculous. He is absolutely ridiculous. What do you think of him?
Yeah, what a player. I've followed him from a young age because I have a very good friend that's a Bayern Munich fan, and he mentioned him very early doors to me, and I just love him as a player. The way he glides past people, dribbles past people, he's got everything to be the best in the world, especially in that position. And obviously people are going to compare him to Jude Bellingham. I'm seeing a lot of that. But I think his ceiling's probably higher. And he's very... Germany are very lucky that they've got him instead of the England national team.
I think I'm just gutted that Chelsea let him go.
Yeah,
because he was in the Chelsea academy from a young age, and then they let him go to Bayern Munich. That is
lost out on him. It's a bit like Kevin De Bruyne as well.
There's a lot of players that Chelsea have missed out on, but that is one that is.
I don't know if you guys have seen that tweet that's been trending a little bit of this female journalist, and she said there's a guy you need to watch out for, 11-year-old Jamal Musiala, and it's been going around crazy. Nick, at what point did you know, or did people know that you were going to make it to be a professional athlete?
See, that's a hard question to answer, because when you're in it, you're just in it, and you're just doing what you're told, and you're listening to the coaches. I think when I maybe it was 15, 16, started to change a little bit for me, but I think football's maybe different to our sport. Like football, you get ID'd from 6 years old. Like Musiala would have been ID'd from way early.
Yeah,
and they probably would have known that this guy's talented. I think rugby's physical development, then you go through, like, you have to get the skills to match up. So sometimes it's a little bit later, but yeah, I think football's a bit different in that regard.
When Nagelsmann's talking about the mixture of youth and experience, he's obviously talking about Toni Kroos in particular, and he was asked more about Toni last night.
Yeah, a lot of times in the last couple of weeks and months, he's very important for us with his experience, with his successful career. He's always calm in ball position. You can give him the ball. Normally, do not make any mistake. I think game against Scotland was also a very good performance. 99% of his passes were complete. They were not only square passes, as you mentioned. The nickname is Crazy.
Toni Kroos is a monster, and he's retiring at the end of this tournament. Nick, why would a player retire when they are at the top of their game?
Yeah, that's interesting as well, because like I think about this quite a bit. But when you've been there, when you've done it for so long, so many years, achieved everything you can at the top level, I think the only reason I'd see to go back is if you wanted to be a player coach, or if you wanted to try and maybe transition into coaching. Because when you've been there, you've been at the top, you kind of just want to stay there, and it's almost like an addiction that you get. So from that respect, I completely see it. And obviously he wants to, maybe his body's letting him down, who knows, but he's been there for so long, he's done it for however many years. So yeah, I think that's kind of the way that I would picture it, if that makes sense.
No, I understand what you're saying, and like obviously if you're craving playing top level, you don't really want to drop a little bit, but think about the money he's missing out.
He's made enough, I'm sure he's made enough.
The Saudi Pro League will be coming, for sure.
What's your prediction today? Germany versus Hungary?
I think the Germans do it again quite convincingly. I'd go for a 3-0 win this time, and Kai Havertz goal again.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm actually going to go 4-0. I think Kai Havertz. Yeah. I think Germany they look like the real deal, I think.
I'm really hoping you guys aren't jinxing it, because Kai Havertz is my captain on Euro Fantasy Football. If you want to see any of Kai Havertz's stats or any of the German stats, then please do check out SofaScore. Scan the barcode in the top left of the screen, or there will be a link in our description as well. The last game of the day sees a team that seems to get battered everywhere they go. Scotland face Switzerland. Haters heard from Scotland captain Andy Robertson.
Game as well. A lot of people critical, and a lot of people probably from the outside couldn't wait to kind of dip into it. And yeah, so that's fine for them. They get paid to do that, and we respect that. But now we have to act. We have to be on the pitch, and we have to do a lot better on the pitch, and that's what we're focused on. Like I says, I can talk about the game ahead tomorrow. I could sit up here for hours and hours and talk about it, but it's not going to make much difference. We need to be confident that we can perform to our highest level, and if we do that, then I believe that we can cause any team problems, and we've always kind of believed that. We've shown that in the past, but we need to get back to showing it, that's for sure.
Nick, you've played against Scotland before.
Yeah.
How scary is it against those fans? They're mental.
They definitely get behind their team. They love the national team. Whenever Scotland's playing in Murrayfield or whatever, though, it's an interesting place to go. I remember before the anthem, it just goes like silent, and then everybody starts like singing at the top of their voice, as you would. But they definitely get behind the national team wherever they go.
People always compliment Mikel Arteta's talent ID, but he's clearly not that good because he's never asked me to play for Arsenal. But one thing I always wonder for the players is how much the fans actually do. But I'm being genuinely serious because we all think, oh, we're the 12th man. Are we? How important are the fans? Do they get in your head? Do they carry you through bad patches?
No. I definitely think it makes a difference. I think sometimes in games you can feel the momentum swings, and those momentum swings, like maybe more so in rugby. I don't know, football. There's sometimes teams have the momentum or not, but you can definitely feel when the home team has the momentum, and you can definitely feel maybe it makes it a bit more sensationalized if you're the opposing team. Like, okay, we're under the pump, when actually you might not be, and I think that's a big thing. From my perspective,
I'm sure you've played in some hostile atmospheres. I remember speaking about Stade de France and the noise there. So
that makes it feel like you're like there's a ton of brick just pushing. Like, honestly, it's when they're making line breaks or they get into their like French stuff. I don't want to talk too much rugby, but
no, I have a question, because it will be the same for rugby and football. When you're in a stadium with thousands of people, how do you communicate to your teammates? Can you all hear each other, or is it just
so sometimes you have to scream, like as in like you look like a crazy person, you're screaming that loud. But then sometimes a lot of stuff just happens, the flow. Like you get into a flow and it kind of just happens. Some, like, maybe to make a call, you might need to whisper or get in the ear. But it's difficult. I'll be honest.
And Freddie, you were at the Germany-Scotland game. Was Scotland shambolic, or were they outclassed? What do they need to do?
Yeah, well, they were shambolic and outclassed, I think, to be honest. The Scottish tactics were all wrong. I think there was a mix between a high press and sitting back, and just within the first minute, you saw Germany play a ball over the top, and Angus Gunn have to make a save with his head, and that was a sign of things to come, to be honest. But this game, I mean, they can definitely beat Switzerland. They can beat Switzerland. They can beat Hungary on their day. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I think they need to have a proper high press and work together as a team, and probably start Billy Gilmore. He's had a good season, Billy Gilmore, and he didn't start the last game. And I think that midfield lacked some of that kind of quality, someone to be able to hold the ball, control the game, and probably Shankland up top as well instead of Che Adams, who I thought was really poor last game.
That was interesting, Billy Gilmore coming out of the match when I saw that. I thought he would be like a certified starter maybe in their team.
He was so good against England in the last Euros. Shankland also had a ridiculous season at Hearts.
He's had an amazing season, and I thought he would start that Germany game. And when he came on, whilst he didn't do much, it looked better than what Che Adams was offering. And so, yeah, I'd like to see Shankland start today as well.
If anybody is going to be Scotland's key man today, you'd assume it's going to be Manchester United's Scott McTominay. SofaScore have helped us once again with all of his stats against the Germans. He played the full 90 minutes. Look, dribbling might not be a strong suit, but it's 1 out of 2. Not too bad. 7 out of his 11 duels won, 2 clearances, 3 tackles, and 2 interceptions. He was good for them in qualifying. It was tough to stand out in that Germany game. Is he your key man today?
Yeah, I mean, he was absolutely electric in the qualifiers. Scott McTominay, the Scottish Messi, as some people are now calling him. He was incredible.
Wrong.
Yeah, they may be. But yeah, he will be vital to a lot of the good stuff that Scotland do. But yeah, he was also very poor against Germany. He seemed to lose the ball quite a lot. Didn't really make too much of an impact. So yeah, looking forward to a better performance from Scott today.
Let's have your predictions today, Scotland.
2-1 Scotland.
I don't know. I think it'll be 2-1 the other way.
Okay.
I think it's going to be tough, man.
Fair enough.
I'm with you, but I don't think Scotland are scoring. Going 3-0.
Oh, come on, really?
That's harsh.
Let's go away from Scotland and talk about one of the home nations that actually stands a chance. England. Nick, representing your country, can you describe the feeling, or is it just not something that can be put into words?
No, it's incredible. I think I think the one thing that makes it stand out is when you see your family afterwards, after you've played. Like for you, sometimes you get stuck as a player. You get stuck in the process of you're doing this, and then week by week you're focused on the game. I think when you see your friends and you see your family afterwards, and how proud they are, it's incredible. And then the anthems before. Honestly, the adrenaline and everything that kind of rushes through, the emotion that rushes through your body, it makes you grow an arm and a leg. And you saw the way Jude Bellingham was running around on whenever it was the last game. It was it's just an incredible feeling. So those guys will.
Haters heard from Kobbie Mainoo, who spoke about England's star midfielder, not that one, Declan Rice.
Such a good player, so reliable. I mean, he's so good on the ball and dominant in the midfield. So when I did get to play against him, it's always a joy, to have someone so strong on the ball next to you, and you can always trust him no matter where you are on the pitch.
Also, is it kind of a testament to how good he is that people would stop talking about his transfer fee pretty much immediately into last season?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone knows he's worth every penny. He's such a good player, and he's proved that in the Prem and also on the international level.
Nick, when a team has a global superstar like England have with Jude Bellingham, does it make everybody's lives a little bit easier or harder?
No. I think it'll be a little bit easier for. I think he's obviously taking the spotlight off of a lot of the squad, which will help because sometimes I think that can kind of seep into your mind, but. The way that he's dealing with it, like for a 20-year-old, is incredible. It's immaculate, and I think it kind of just shows his mindset and what kind of player that we have there. It's special, generational. I'd say.
Generational.
I think so.
Freddie, is Rice that good that England could technically or probably play with two people in the 10 instead of that little double pivot?
Yeah, for sure. Rice is good enough for it. I would like to see it. Will we see it? Most likely not, because Gareth Southgate won't do it. But it would be cool to see Rice in that midfield. The way that he can cover ground, he could definitely get across that midfield and hold it down for England. And then you'd obviously have the two threats of Foden and Bellingham in those higher roles. And that would be incredible to see, wouldn't it?
I want to see Cole Palmer as well.
Cole Palmer would be a great option as well, like to change it up. And that just allows you to get all those players in. But then we've seen it in the past where England try and fit too many good players into one squad and it doesn't necessarily work out. So maybe Foden and Bellingham, would they get in each other's way? You don't know, but I'd definitely like to see it.
They need to release Palmer. They need to release Cole Palmer. I think that's what. Obviously, I know I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm biased and all this stuff, but I think he's a phenomenal player.
Because like you look back over the last few years, and everyone's like, "Oh, if you play with N'Golo Kante, it's like you have another man." Declan Rice is the same. Declan Rice can cover that back line and bring the ball forward. I think that him alone offers England the opportunity to play more attacking players, and they definitely should do. Speaking of attacking players, Kobbie also spoke about Manchester United and England legend Wayne Rooney.
Obviously, growing up a United fan, Rooney, and then it wasn't so much just strikers as well, because I always loved Ronaldinho. Used to watch him on YouTube a lot growing up, and yeah, mostly United players, to be honest.
Have you had any interactions with Wayne at all?
No, not in person. I've not spoken to him before. No.
But then when he says something like he said about you wanting to play, and you looked up to him when you did, that must be quite nice. Even make that even more important.
Yeah, 100%. I always appreciate it coming from a legend of football and of the club that I play for. So yeah, it's always amazing to receive compliments like that.
Boys, Kane or Rooney? You can only have one.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to go for Wayne Rooney in terms of a player I love. Obviously, Kane, England's top goal scorer, a bit unfair on him there, potentially, but I just loved watching Wayne Rooney as a player.
I think I like Harry Kane. I have to disagree again.
Yeah,
no, I like him. I think he's good. He's obviously like top goal scorer. And he's done it. He's done it for quite a long time. He's got good longevity with England. I'm not sure how many major tournaments he's been to, but it's quite a few. So I think Kane's.
Think about how good Wayne Rooney used to be. You know, at Euro 2004, he was younger than Mainoo and Bellingham are now. Took the world by storm.
That's very true.
The last point that Mainoo touched on was Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag.
what the season would look like when I came back. I mean, when I did come back into training, I played a few games with the under-21s, and yeah, I'm just glad he had the belief in me, and grateful he had the belief in me to put me in against Everton.
A reminder to everybody to please do get your comments in and we will address them a little later. But Nick, who was your Erik ten Hag, the man that gave you your first chance? Let's go club level first.
So that's funny because I remember being in that kind of situation where you're going to play for the A team, sorry, the B team, and then the under-21s or go on loan somewhere. I actually remember being in that situation, but at the club it was Mark McCall, so he was obviously the director of rugby. He still is now, but yeah, when I was 18, they threw me in a bit like that, and you're going through it because when you're in that stage, you don't know if you're doing right or doing wrong, but you're just kind of in it, you know. Yeah.
And Mainoo will, well, if he gets any minutes, he's likely to be in a really weird situation where he plays against his club teammates in Højlund and Eriksson. Have you ever played against your club teammates at international level? Is it weird wanting to absolutely clatter your mates?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've done it a couple of times, but it's just whatever's in front of you, you're so like laser focused in what you have to do that it just goes out the window. And then you obviously speak to them afterwards and you have a beer or whatever, but.
We're not friends.
No, for the next 80 minutes or 90 minutes for him, they're not friends.
So obviously, as I just said, one teammate that Mainoo could face if he does get some minutes, Christian Eriksen, a man that returned after a cardiac arrest at the last Euros. You, Nick, I believe, are the only athlete ever to return after having open heart surgery. Surely everybody's just like, don't play. And why'd you come back?
That's such a good question. That's honestly such a good question.
Because I'm nuts.
No, so it's something like that. But no, I remember being in the consultancy bit with the surgeon, and he basically laid it out to me as if it was going to be, as if it were a hamstring. Obviously, it's a bit more severe than a hamstring, but he basically laid out to me that there's going to be a return to play. You're going to be able to return after so and so. You have to hit targets, and then we'll hopefully get you back for Six Nations. And then I was planning for the World Cup. But yeah, it's just, I suppose for us as athletes, there's only a certain amount of time that you can do this for. And then when you're done, you're done. Your body doesn't go backwards and you don't get your athleticism back, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
I think that I don't know, I think I would have maybe potentially, I felt like I would have been wasting those years that I had. I saw a clip actually of Thierry Henry talking about his retirement as if like it was like he like died. Did you guys see that? And it's so true because you literally you can't go backwards. So I think that's and it's inspirational for Eriksson what he's doing. Obviously scoring as well.
It was so good to see him score.
It's actually inspirational, and yeah, it's. Do
you ever get nervous when you go back on the pitch? Do you reckon he does?
I think at the start he would have been nervous because I was nervous when I first came back. For maybe my first 6 games, I was like, I don't know what's going to happen here, and it's a bit like unknown. And I think it will be similar for him. I think from that regard. But now it's fine. I feel back to normal. I'm sure he'll feel back to normal now. So yeah, the first couple of games daunting, man.
I read that after surgery you got hiccups from eating too much, and you said, "I'll never do that again." And hopefully, you won't.
Hopefully, no.
Any food you crave in particular after open heart surgery?
No, it was just food. Honestly, I was just so hungry. They told me that obviously you have to have an empty stomach when you have surgery and stuff. So I didn't eat like 6 hours before that, and then it was like 7 or 8 hours after that. So I was absolutely ravenous, so hungry. I was like, bring me whatever. You could only have soft food. So it was like mashed potatoes and soft egg. But yeah, I ate it way too quickly. And I just remember having hiccups, and obviously your chest expands when you have hiccups. And there's nothing keeping it there. It was horrible experience, but we're over it now.
I have no idea how I meant to change the tune properly from open heart surgery into transfer news.
No, that's good.
But you've said you're a Chelsea fan. Any player you've liked watching at the Euros so far that you'd like to see at Stamford Bridge?
Can I say Mbappe? Is that okay? Can I say I'd love to see Mbappe?
It's pretty unlikely, man.
He's just signed for Real Madrid.
Yeah, no.
But Nick Asikwe says he wants you, so off you come.
That'll be
Changing
awesome.
your mind. Well, I mean, there was rumours this morning that Mudryk is leaving Chelsea, which would free up that spot if Mbappe really wanted to.
Yeah.
Mudryk, what's gone wrong for him at Stamford Bridge?
No, I to be honest with you, I can only speak from a sportsman, not a footballer perspective. But I don't know. Sometimes some people need a different kind of arm around the shoulder. People need to be maybe managed differently. I think he was getting there. I do believe that he was getting to where he wanted to be at. But I feel like there's not a lot of time. There's not a lot of time for people to get to that point. But I would say that everybody needs to be maybe managed a little bit differently.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, if Mudryk is to leave Chelsea, there's one player that's linked with them is Michael Elise. Where do you think he should go? Newcastle, Chelsea, where would you go?
He's a hell of a player, and if I was him, I'd probably be looking more towards Newcastle, to be honest, than Chelsea, just because there's so many players at Chelsea already. It's been a bit of a shambles over the last few years in the way that they're being run. You don't know how it's going to go with Enzo Maresca. There's just a lot of uncertainty there, whereas Newcastle feels like if they have their players fit, they will be challenging for definitely Europe and probably top 4 this year.
Keeping on the Chelsea theme, a Chelsea player in the England squad, Conor Gallagher, he's linked with the move to Spurs. Do you think that would be a good move for him?
I mean, I do like him. I I think he's a good player. I think he kind of embodies that work rate, grit, like run till the legs fall off kind of thing. And I think that's what we need at Chelsea. I think that we do have a lot of stardust potential. I think we have a lot of young players that have high ceilings. I think that we also need a bit of that grit and that work hard. And I think he brings that. So I would be quite upset if he left, but
I think that's probably why Poch seemed to leave Chelsea. It seemed to be somewhat to do with Chelsea having to sell these English players, recognise a full profit from that, and Poch didn't want to sell a character like Conor Gallagher, who seems to be somewhat of a leader at Chelsea.
Yeah.
So if they do end up selling him, especially to Spurs, I'm not sure how happy Chelsea fans will be about that, because Spurs and Chelsea historically don't do business together. So
no, not happy. That would be an interesting bit of business.
Yeah.
So, Nick, you're an England international, and England play tomorrow. Not in your sport, but football. Is it coming home? And what's your score prediction for the Denmark match?
I think it's coming home. Yeah, I've got that bug, that Euro bug, that English Euro bug.
Come down, not feeling good.
And I think they'll just be systematic 2-0 win. I like what they're doing defensively. Obviously, towards the end of the game, it was a little bit shaky, but I like what we're doing.
I like the description there, systematic 2-0 win. To be honest, that's a very good way to put the way that England play under Southgate. Very systematic.
Well, it's just get it done. It's just winning football, I suppose.
That's a good prediction.
Thank you very much for joining us today on the Haters Euro 2024 Daily Show. A reminder to download SofaScore for all of your best stats on football around the world, particularly over the tournament that is currently going on. Please do tune back in tomorrow at 1 o'clock as we look forward to England versus Denmark. I've been Aaron Goldstein.